But first, let's go to Tel Aviv, where NewsNation's Robert Sherman is standing by. Robert, good morning from New York. Walk us through the details on how this mission was pulled off to find that second crew member.
Yeah, Hannah, from coast to coast in the United States to here in Israel, this is what people have been holding on to hope for. This kind of news here, that this airman would be returned safe and sound. And that is the outcome that people had prayed for here in the Middle East and Israel. And that is the outcome that we have here, with President Trump making this overnight Truth Social post announcing this outcome here, saying the United States military pulled off one of the most daring search and rescue operations in U.S. history for one of our incredible crew member officers, who also happens to be a highly respected colonel, who I am thrilled to let you know is now safe and sound. At my direction, the U.S. military sent dozens of aircraft armed with the most lethal weapons in the world to retrieve him. He sustained injuries, but he will be just fine. It is our understanding, according to the White House, that this took place over a span of days, with this aviator trekking through the mountains of Iran, being chased by Iranian forces, and it took special operations in order to extract him from that site there. What you're looking at on your screen, as you pointed out, Hena, unverified footage coming from Iranian state media, but they claim that it shows some of these search and rescue operations taking place. It would line up with what we would expect, with helicopters and planes flying low over the surface. Putting that into context, we have seen how treacherous the skies above Iran have been in recent days. To seeing planes and helicopters flying that low underscores just how much danger American service members put themselves into in order to carry out these operations here. But the result that we have here, Hena, is that this aviator is back home. Both of these aviators from this F-15 have been returned, despite the fact that it's our understanding there have been 2 helicopters that were hit but were able to escape in the fray. We're working to learn if any other equipment was involved in all of this, or if there's anything else to make note here. We do have this situation here in which both of these air members are now back into American arms, receiving medical care. And now the focus shifts towards the future, which certainly has many imminent timelines and deadlines ahead here when it comes to the operations in the Middle East. Hena.
Robert, stateside, most of us are waking up to this good news of the airmen being rescued. You mentioned about the future, though, and the deadlines. That brings me to my next question. The president giving Iran a new 48-hour deadline to make a deal, reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Where does this stand right now?
April 6th is the big day, according to the president. I mean, this is the newest timeline that he has put into place in order for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And it comes as you have energy officials saying that the energy crisis will likely be hitting Europe in the next couple of weeks, when those last few bits of oil that were on some of these ships start to no longer be coming into ports across Europe there. That is what the timeline is that we're looking at here. Over the last 24 hours, you've seen Israeli forces intensifying some of their strikes on Iranian positions, including ballistic missile launchers, but also hitting a petrochemical complex, according to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, to up that pressure as that deadline approaches. The response from Iran through their actions, well, they've carried out strikes across the Middle East, especially at energy sites. We're looking at the Bapco oil facility in Bahrain. We're looking at the Gulf Petrochemical Industries Company inside of Bahrain as well. Abu Dhabi authorities said that they've responded to multiple fires at a petrochemical plant there. And then in Kuwait, the complex, the Shuaik oil field complex that also holds the Kuwaiti Ministry of Oil, that has also sustained damage as well that we're all waking up to here in the region. I would also point out, Hena, this is a holy weekend here, in which people are spending the day celebrating Easter in as best of the way as they can. You've seen people congregating in the Via Dolorosa in Jerusalem, with many of the holy sites formally shut down here. People are making do as best as they can, going to restaurants, going to the beach, spending time with families. Because come tomorrow, we have a new week, which will bring with it new uncertainty, with this deadline coming to a close. Hena.
All right, Robert Sherman on the ground in Tel Aviv. I'll talk to you in the next hour, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.